This is Dayspring.
And this is Michelle.
And I'm Lady J. Jamila.
I cannot believe, Michelle, that we have Lady J on the podcast today.
I can't believe you got her on our podcast. I'm fangirling right now. I love you so much. Oh my god.
I feel the same way about you two. I think I'm fangirling harder. That's why this cheese, I've been smiling the whole time. I can't even take my cheese off my face.
I mean, Lady J, everyone talks about the Mutant and Proud event that you throw every year. And every time those photos come up on my feed, I'm in love with it. It's such a fun looking event.
Thank you so much. Yeah, so my dream was to kind of bring the Hellfire Club Gala to life before, this was my dream way before, it was back in the comics and that Marvel did it and everything else. Because I was like, how cool would it be for all of us to just be fancy and, bring out our X gene and, go to a Hellfire Club. So I accidentally ran across this venue. When I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, to me, this looks like I stepped into the Hellfire Club mansion. So I was like, we're going to do it. I'm not going to put off this dream. I had it since I was a teenager. We're just going to do it. And so 2 years ago was our first event and it's going strong ever since. So I'm excited.
And to read the copy you have from the website, you have Lady J's Mutant and Proud event is an X-Men themed comic book convention from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Then an exclusive Hellfire Club gala from 6 to 9 with a red carpet photo op starting at 5. And that event is held at the German Society of Pennsylvania with a Victorian style library. Oh, Michelle, we have to this year. Oh my God.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it.
I'm like, can I make this work? Like, oh my gosh. I mean, you pulled out all the stops. I was looking through the feed and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have I love that people change. So they start off in their regular uniforms or outfits. And then for the gala, everyone goes all out, including myself. I was like, oh my gosh.
That's what made me do well, because once I thought I would only be able to book the venue maybe just for the gala, but then they said you can have it all day, and I said, oh, well then it was the same price, to have it for a few hours or to have it all day. I said then we might as well do a small Comic-Con first, and then that gave us the idea to go from con to gala, and I wanted the red carpet and the media experience in between, especially since everybody makes the effort to go change. I'm like, y'all gotta have your reward in between. Now, the con isn't as big as a big convention. It's about 10 vendors/artists, including the celebrity guests, which is usually one or two X-Men themed celebrity guests. This year, we have the amazing Lenore Zann, who was the voice of Rogue, and we have Adrian Hugh, which was the voice of Nightcrawler. So the brother-sister team this year. Last year, we had the co-creator of Rogue with the voice of Rogue. So we try to make the guests themed up, and we theme each gala. So last year, because we had the two Rogue guests, it was Rogue's Rook, and we use a chess piece in each name because, the Hellfire Club members was originally named after chess pieces. So this year will be a Stormy Night at KNIGHT for the chess piece night. And we're going to have some magical clouds to theme, the decorations for the gala and stuff like that. So it's going to be really fun. It's going to be really cool.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to see either in person or online, whichever.
No worries.
Oh my gosh. It sounds beautiful.
Thank you.
Cannot wait. It's on April. What's the date? It's April 27th.
27th. Yep, April 27th.
It's April 27th. We have a place back in New York, so I am taking that train to Philadelphia. I told my booker, because I work galas, actually. That is sort of what I do for a living. I'm an auctioneer for galas. And as you know, probably, gala season is from March to June. So I told my booker, I was like, I already have another gala I need to go to on the 27th. And he's here wait a minute. I'm like, no, it's not. It's not one that I'm going to be working. But,
right.
I have to tell you, I think it's so incredibly special and intimate, the photos that you have
Yeah.
posted and the experience. And Michelle and I were very good friends with Lenore. We've done cons and panels with her, and Lenore has spoken so highly of this event, and she enjoys
Thank
it
you.
so much. What was it like for folks at home who are probably wanting to do something like you did? How do you start off with an idea and going all the way to Lenore and
Yeah.
asking Rogue herself, "Hey Lenore,
Well,
come to Pennsylvania for my
Right
for my
in those
con."
DMs.
yeah.
How do you
So,
do that?
well, one, I bust my butt to have to save the capital to get the venue, but because it's all me. This year I do have one sponsor, but I haven't had any sponsors or anything, so everything was me. So once you get that, and I'm like you guys. We go to cons. Like I'm a fan myself, you know. So this is an event for fans, five fans. So I went to the con and was like, Lenore, this is what I'm doing. I would love to have you. I dressed up as Gambit. I said, I love you. Please come. And I showed her the pictures and, you know, and then we worked out the details on actually booking her. But I actually went to Chicago to meet Lenore in person to ask her if she would be a part of our event. Um, Now, you know, there you work with different agents. There's a way to do it online, but I wanted to ask in person. It's harder to say no in person, but
That's true. That's a really good approach. And then you kind of sell yourself and your
right.
personality. And I think making that in-person connection really makes a difference.
I do, and I think she saw how much I loved X-Men. Like I did want to like tell her, you know, how much I loved her, how much the show meant to me, and it's a lot. Like you said, is in person doing that versus typing it is a lot different. So, and it was a lot of the cast there that time when I went. So I was like, you know, Lenore was the main goal, but at least that way I could ask the other people if they didn't mind to give me their agent info, so I had it for future years. So it was an investment in the show, and it worked out because Lenore's amazing and she took the time to talk to me and gave me the info so she could, you know, get to the rest of the line, but so I could talk to her later and it worked out.
Lenore's a very special person. We've done her booth as well, and people come up to her, and she talks to everyone, and she understands the importance of Rogue, because a character like Rogue, and this is why I love that she is a central in your con. A character like Rogue, when we're growing up in the 90s, we did not have those kind of superheroes. A character like Rogue, Storm, Jean, those were very scarce, and having like such a powerful voice at these cons, that's fucking amazing. I'm so
Yeah.
proud. What was your first experience with X-Men? Take us back to baby Lady J.
Yeah. So it was 6-year-old Lady J who got to read the comics first. And as I grew up, when you come across um I guess I'd say things that hurt your feelings or people who hurt your feelings for something you can't control, whether it's the color of your skin or your income level, like you couldn't get the fancy clothes that's out at the time, or being a nerd back then wasn't cool. Now it's cool, so I'm happy. But you know, if you were smart, you had the glass, whatever reason you felt picked on and it was something you couldn't control. I really connected with the X-Men in that way. And I thought when I was reading when I was little, I'm like, that's unfair. They're like another, like just a different um form of humanity, just like you have tigers and lions. Like when I'm 6, this is how I'm. So I'm like, why are they being treated that way just because they're special? You know, that really like hit me, and I was really like, that's not right. But the fact that they was willing to defend themselves, but not only themselves, the people who were hating on them too, and that is what hit me as that I'm like, they are true heroes. Like they're being, you know, come at in so many different ways, including the fellow mutants too. So, you know, they're getting hit at every direction, but they wanted to protect everybody, including themselves, and they wanted to make the world better. So all those things just connected with my little self. And as I grew up, I could just connect it to the real world even more. And also they're fun characters too. Like it's not just the whole struggle, but you get their personalities in between, and they're also fun for different reasons. And but that was just what connected heart to heart to me in the beginning. And then I love the Claremont era of writing, and his stories were also so amazing, and Jim Lee's art, and I love the, you know, all throughout the era, but those were my favorite eras, and that's what hit me the hardest.
were you introduced like via the comics first or the animated series, or
The
was it?
comic. So in the 80s, the comics, yeah. Because when I was 6, it was around like 87. So it was before. And I actually saw my mom, when I got so involved in X-Men, bought me the VHS of the it was it Pride of Kitty?
Part
That
of the
old
X-Men. Yes,
Pride of the X-Men, yes, yes. And so that was the first animated X-Men that I actually saw, was Pride of the X-Men. And then X-Men animated series, just like, that was just like the crop of the king of the crop. When I saw that in the 90s, that was so amazing.
If you're an 80s baby, it is a rite of passage that you own the VHS of Pride of the X-Men. I never saw.
Yeah.
We've had Larry Houston on the podcast several times, and he talked to us about Pride of the X-Men and how it originally aired. I have no memory of ever watching it as it aired on TV. I just had that broken VHS that I played over and over again with the Toei animation, and of course, Toei would go on to do Sailor Moon, and
Right.
oh, I just.
I know. I loved it.
No. I was just like, oh yes, I agree.
Lady J, I wanted to pull on the thread that you said about what made the X-Men so special for you growing up, because I had a very similar experience as well. I grew up being, ostracized because I was clearly LGBTQIA plus, and sitting down and watching the animated series and thinking that somewhere out there was a school like Xavier's where all these outcasts can come together and not only become a family but also celebrate your differences was such a powerful thing as a kid. And I love what you said, because I reacted to the X-Men a certain way. And my primo, he saw Wolverine popping his claws. He saw Storm conjuring the elements. He didn't really latch onto the metaphor in the way that I probably did. And I think that is one of the more unique elements of the X-Men, is that there's something for everyone in the X-Men.
Exactly.
Whether you think these characters are just fucking cool because they are, or whether you resonate with the messages, I think that it's one of those things that I think make the X-Men so appealing in a broader sense.
Yes, I agree. And they each had their own struggle with coming into what made them unique and what made them special. And I think we all have that at some level at some point in time, whether it's puberty or whether it's finding our niche, or, it's like, whatever makes us us, when we trying to find it's not as easy. And I love how they showed that, how each one, you get a flashback of how they first got their powers, and it just, I don't know, it empowered me. It made me like, they can do it, I can do it,
Yeah, finding themselves and their tribe too.
Yes.
Like, finding their community, the people that are like-minded that way. Because I remember when X-Men first came out, I was exposed to the animated series first. And I remember I used to watch it with my brothers Saturday morning. So I'm a little bit of a tomboy. But also, like, on the playground at school, like, we would all play X-Men. And we had like such a great like random group of people. Like, there wasn't any like those like social cliques. It wasn't about that. We were all just X-Men lovers. So it was really interesting how it just kind of helped like bring the characters together on the show and then bring people together in real life.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think we all played X-Men. And what's so I love how many characters it is, because like I didn't always play Storm, I didn't always play Gambit, or I didn't always, like, I love when people say what's your favorite X-Men, I'm like, I could give you my top 10. Like, it's so hard to pick one. And I think that's really cool.
That's what we're gonna ask now. Give us that top 10. And why is Jean Grey our God Queen number 1 on that list?
Yeah. Top 10 is so hard.
I know.
It's easier than one, though.
Name a few. And I always find, and Michelle, you and I have talked about this endlessly, it depends on like my mood, my day, who's like really at my top 10 X, and where they're at in the comics or something like that, who I'm excited for. But as of right now, who are some of your favorite characters?
Storm, Gambit, Rogue, Magneto, Jean, Polaris,
all good characters.
Dazzler. Trying to think.
Can
Wolverine,
I tell you?
Nightcrawler.
Well, we love Wolverine, Nightcrawler, but can I tell you the Dazzler song from the animated series. I was singing it this morning in the shower. Got myself a party, don't know what. I have asked Larry Houston, I've asked Lee Waltz, I'm like, where is there a recording of this song?
Is
And
it
please
on
relate. Is it on
Yes.
Spotify? But I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, that's great. I love it. No, I think, I mean, I think, I don't know if I did 10, but that's a good set for my top right now.
I noticed all of the characters that you mentioned that were in your top 10-ish that you've also cosplayed.
Yeah, many of them.
Yes, I've seen your Dazzler. I saw your Polaris like day and night looks.
Yeah.
And Dazzler too, you did a day look and a
Yeah.
night look. Oh my gosh. Can you reveal your plans for the upcoming gala? Or is that under wraps? Like,
That's usually under wraps, but for you guys, I give you spoiler. I give you the scoop.
Give us a scoop, just a morsel, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I don't mind. So I'm going to do Magneto if time permits to finish making him, but I'm not going to do the same character at night. I'm going to do Storm because the theme is a stormy night. So yes, I'm doing Magneto and Storm this year. I was thinking about tossing in a regular Storm just so I can have a day and night look to post, but I'm not sure. But I definitely want to do Magneto because, like you say, he's been on my list and I've never done him. So I'm like, it's perfect place to do it is the gala and the event. And I did want to do Storm each year, but because I try not to do the same characters I do for the promo at the show. So I picked Storm first, like, because she was my favorite. But then I was like, oh, I don't want to do her at the show now. So she was the first for the promo. I did a day and night for Storm on the promo the first year. So then I did Polaris at the show. And then last year did I do Angel? I'm having a brain fart. No, it would be that. No, I did somebody in between. I think it might have been Angel. Warren Angel. But I'm having a brain fart. Sorry, y'all. But then I did.
I mean, welcome to every episode of this podcast.
At 40 years old, right?
Brain fog in your 40s is so real. I literally the other day I was talking to someone about my friend, and I'm like, that person, what's their name again? And then, of course, I'm next to my mom who has dementia. I'm like, oh, gosh, this is my future. Sorry. Sorry. No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes.
She doesn't remember when I throw shade, so it's great.
Right. You're so bad.
I love her so much. She would be on the Zoom laughing at me, too, if she has a good sense of humor.
I'm sure you get your humor partly from her, so I don't doubt that. But yeah, so this year I did Dazzler for the promo, so I was like, I'll do Magneto and Storm this year. I did Black Queen last year because I wanted to kind of like be the queen of the gala and the host and everything. But
you should. Yes.
Thank you.
I saw that on your feed too, and oh my gosh, like you nailed it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, yours. You talking about my cosplay. I see you're in amazement every time. And it's funny, you just recently posted Black Canary. This is not X-Men, sorry. But
I know.
Traitor. We don't need an ex-traitor when you're being Black Canary.
But it's if she's an amazing character, you gotta love Black Canary. Yeah, and you killed her. And I was like, I just love it when somebody else does one of my favorite characters too. And I'm like, oh, Michelle just killed that. I love it.
I know. I did that. I actually put it together because one of my friends was going to do like a birthday themed like Justice League shoot. And she asked me to do it. And then unfortunately it was the WonderCon during COVID.
Oh.
So it got canceled and I've still got the cosplay and I'm like, I gotta wear it out sometimes. So I'm trying to bring out like the cosplays that I've been saving for groups, and I'm just like, I don't know if this group is ever gonna happen.
Right.
So, yeah. But I love that your gala just like encourages the cosplay community to really come out with their best. Like
thank you. And I like too that the community, and everybody knows me. Like I'm for all cost positivity. If whether you create it or you make it or you buy it or you feel like you have no skill level. I feel like everybody has skill level. If you're willing to put something on, then it's skill level. Because somebody messaged me, do I have to be as good as you or you guys to come? And I'm like, absolutely not. You can wear a t-shirt and come and just enjoy yourself. But they put on their first Bishop cosplay to come, and I think he knew how much we all loved it. You could see the effort. And then the next year he came as Blade and even leveled up even more. But yeah, so the fact that and he wasn't the only one. I had a few people, but Blade is Bishop is the one that stood out because he was the first person to message me. And I was so happy he came in cosplay. And he said, I had so much fun. I'm so glad I loved it. And the next year he ended up winning as a judge's choice in the contest for his Blade. So like the fact that I helped somebody put on their first costume has really meant so much to me.
Well, this is something that I learned from Michelle, and I'm seeing everywhere now because I wasn't very involved in the cosplay community, and Michelle was sort of like my gateway to that. It's that the cosplay community is very open, very positive, and it's always encouraging to have others come in and celebrate these characters. And I think that's something that's so evident when I'm looking at the Mutant and Proud event, when I'm looking at the people who attend, is that there is a celebration of the character. And who cares if you're a perfect cosplayer or not, because this is all about coming together and geeking out and having fun. And that's something that is so beautifully prominent in everything you put out on your feed. And I cannot wait for it. Wait. You have a cosplay judging contest. You have Lenore, you have Adrian, you have vendors. What else do you have at the con? What else is sort of there?
So it's because the vending aspect of it is, not as big as other cons. We do a lot of interactive, like bringing everybody together, like X-Men family type thing. So we do X-Men Family Feud. And we try to get everybody in the
Wait, what is Family Feud? What is X-Men Family Feud?
So it's really cool. We pick 5 people for each team. I host it, and we already have the card. It's like I do it old school to make it a little more fun. It's like on the poster board, I have the answers covered up, and we say like, number 1 answer was this and that, and we do it all X-Men related questions. And I actually try to find ones that's actually been on Family Feud that's superhero related. And then last year I did a poll for the very last question. Like I said, what do you think of most when you think of Rogue? And then people commented, and then I did the numbers by the comments from the people. But everybody wins a prize because I know it's hard to play. But we do the 3 X's, next team pass play, like it's exactly like Family Feud, but it's an X-Men, and everybody has to play in character. So they have to keep whatever they're dressed as. You have to answer the question correctly, but as your character would answer it. So it's really fun.
Okay, but to ask, like, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Rogue and Lenore Zann is there? The only answer is Lenore Zann.
Right, you would think, but the answer was her accent. So I guess that's because of Lenore. Yeah, who we first heard do Rogue. So, but yeah, she would think Lenore, but it was not. I was surprised, but she loved it. She laughed. She loved it. And then we do a panel with the guests. And it's because it is an intimate space. That's what I love about it. It's exclusive, and that's what I wanted to be. So the panel was kind of like everybody could interact. Like I did the questions, but people were accidentally like just speaking out loud, and they could be heard, and it was great. It's like a big conversation, the panel. And we do a couple different panels, but the celebrity voice panel is always one of them. And then each VIP person can come in a little early, get their private photos in the venue. And then we have a bar area also. So it's not just the library. The bar area has vendors. I'm sorry, not venues. Vendors and artists. And then it's actual food. It's catered by my sister. And she's really good. And she owns a nonprofit. So the money goes towards her nonprofit. So you're doing good and you get good food. And it's 21 and up drinks and stuff that's not 21 and up. So something for everybody. And she also tries to have, it's not vegan, but she also tried to have non-meat options for those who doesn't eat meat. And then it's I bring my personal X-Men 90s arcade game for down in the bar area so people can play that down there. And it's where you could sit and eat, because you can't eat in the library because it's a true working library, old school library. So that's why we do the bar, so everybody can eat in the bar.
First of all, you have me at bar with alcohol, so like that was going to be my next question. Michelle knows it. Every time Michelle and I are at a con, I'm like, oh, let's just go to the bar first.
I know. I'm like, where's the nearest bar? I'm like, I need a drink.
I'm like, I'm sober except for vodka, so let's just do this right now. And wait, before we move on in the conversation, I want to highlight your sister's nonprofit. What's the nonprofit that a lot of the proceeds are going to?
Thank you. So it's called Sparkle All Over the World, and she's really into the community. So like she did a back to school community event, and domestic violence. Those two are her main sorts of educational programs for communities that are underserved, and domestic violence awareness, and having resources for domestic violence.
That's beautiful. I do a lot of events for education and domestic violence, and it's appalling at how much funding does not get to these people who need it. These programs are a lifeline. So, Lady J, what's the name of the organization again?
Sparkle All Over the World.
All right, Familia, and that's sparkleotworld.org. I'm seeing right now, and the second you land there is a donate button. Hit that donation button. I say this at all my events: $1 or $1 million.
Yeah,
it is life changing. That is an opportunity for some. That is so incredible.
Thank you. Yeah, I always try to incorporate some kind of charity work in my cosplay and my events. I personally helped start this group that we call the Philadelphia Avengers, and we do a whole bunch of different children's charities like March for Babies and Alex Lemonade Stand. Then we do juvenile diabetes research, and just a whole bunch. I won't digress too far, but so anytime I can do an event, it's usually attached to some sort of charity also.
I'm sorry, I'm so in awe. Like you're speaking my language with all those things. Like you are truly a real life superhero with everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll toss in there that I'm a forensic DNA analyst. So I
Okay. Okay, so what haven't you done? Is the question I think.
I was gonna say you really are doing it all over there.
Thank you guys. But no, that's what funds the fun. So I get to be a hero during the day, then play one at night. So that's my perfect two there.
How did you get involved in cosplaying?
So to be honest, and my first cosplay was Storm. I was going to my first Comic-Con, and when I was little, I always wanted to go to one, but we just couldn't afford to. So as soon as I saved up enough money, I was in college and working 2 jobs. I said, I'm going to go to my first Comic-Con, and I was like, and I have to be Storm because she was one of my favorites for so long, and I wanted to pretend to be her and bring her to life. And I am so grateful I did it because I was walking. Well, I was on the bus at Storm, and it was so funny how many people was like, "Yo, it's Storm!" Like I was like, "Yes, you get it, thank you." Really made me feel like Storm before I got there. But I was walking up to the con, and a little boy just ran up to me, and and his dad was trying to catch him because he didn't know what he was running to. But it was this stranger and he was like. And he ran up and gave me this big hug and thanked me for the sunny day.
Oh my gosh.
That warmed my heart. I didn't even get to the con yet. And I was like, yo, that made my day. And that actually started, I was like, wow, children really believe in us. And that's what made me want to start charity work in the costume. Like, so thanks to that little boy, like he set me on my path and I've been going ever since. But my my costume was hilarious. I didn't think I could sew back then, even though I knew a little bit about sewing. So I bought a black bodysuit. I used duct tape, a tablecloth, a plastic tablecloth from the dollar store, and it worked. Like and that's why I tell everybody, we all start somewhere, and it doesn't matter how you start, as long as you love it. And that little boy couldn't tell the difference. He didn't see my duct tape, he just saw Storm, and it was just an amazing experience. So that was back in 2011. That was my first costume.
Oh my gosh, that's such a great experience. I think the kids at the cons make it all worth it,
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's beautiful. And I love your cosplay journey and how you say we do all start somewhere.
Yeah.
I think some people just see the big time cosplayers and they're like, oh my gosh, like I'll never be on that level, and they get really discouraged. But like they started somewhere too. Like,
Yeah.
we're not born with all these skills. Like, I can't sew that great either, but the more you do it, the better you get at it, and you can always level up your cosplays too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like I hate armor making. Like, so I can sew pretty good now, but armor making, I hate it. So I'm glad. And this community, I have so many friends that I can bug. And of course I pay them for their time and stuff. But I'm like, if I want to try something small, like I don't know if you guys saw my recent post, but I made the mutant collars that like restrict our powers when I did Blink from the Gifted TV show. And it was just craft foam. So I was like, I think I can do that. It was like I bought an LED light from the dollar store and craft foam, but I still bugged them. I'm like, what glue is best to hold this together? And yeah, but yeah, big armor. When I look at the big Iron Man, and it was this huge juggernaut. I forget the cosplayer's name, and I know it off the top of my head.
Is it Hummin?
Say it again.
Is it Hummin?
Yes, Michelle was his. I'm like, yo, that's amazing, and I can never make that, but I wish I could. To see the process is so cool.
Robin IRL is like huge. Was he at LA, Michelle? Was he at LA Comic Con?
Yes, he was at LA. He was also at New York Comic Con.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, that's where I saw him. New York. Yeah.
Wait, you've been to New York Comic Con? That makes sense because it's like a train ride away.
Yeah, exactly.
were you here this last year?
Did I go? See, it's a shame that years blend together.
Oh, I know. I've been going since 2007. So
yeah, but
no, because we probably didn't talk. Oh my god! It's like we probably didn't. Like, oh, I'm sorry I missed you.
I know, me too. I did the big X-Men group meetup that my friend Shady Hayes had together. She had a cosplay meetup, and I did Marvel Girl, the version Jean Grey, and I talked to Chris Claremont again, and I was a Ghostbuster half the time too. So you might not saw me because I wanted to meet Daryl from DMC from Run DMC. I'm a big Ghostbuster fan. They did the song for the part 2 soundtrack. So I was half Ghostbusters and half Marvel Girl. So I might have missed you.
Okay. I did have to peace out the day of the Marvel meetup because I had a gig in Rhode Island. So I was not there that day. And then I didn't go Sunday. I think I was only there Thursday and Friday.
And I was only there Saturday. So that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember because it all does blur. I can mark this one because Michelle it was her first New York Comic Con and first time in New York. So that's where I can mark it. But apart from that, now all the days are blending in from years past. I'm like, because if you were Marvel Girl, I would have sniffed you out because God Queen is like my favorite X-Man.
That's great. No, I forgot what Chris said to me. He said, I don't think she's wearing that anymore. I was cracking. I said, the throwback is always great.
Well, she has so many looks to choose from. I mean, yeah, and that's a classic.
Yeah.
So
funny.
We love Jean. We have so many like X-Men that we love, but like Lady J, we are salty here on this podcast. So who is your least favorite X-Men and why is it Hank McCoy?
Oh my god, this is funny.
Like, why does he suck so badly?
It's funny. I've never even thought about a least favorite X-Men.
Oh, really? Let's talk about Hank McCoy.
Yeah. Why? So you tell me, why isn't that one your least favorite?
Sociopathic. He is crazy. Dark Beast at least owns all of his like action.
Right. That's true. That's so funny.
I feel like Dark Beast is his true form.
Oh, I agree. Yes. If Hank McCoy would just be like, I'm Dark Beast now, I'd be like, great, now you're my number one favorite X-Men.
Yeah.
But the fact that I will always hate him for what he did with Cyclops and the 05, because during that era at the end of AVX, you know, like our boy Cyclops, he's had a lot of flaws and he hasn't gone about things the right way. However, he was motivated in trying to repower the mutant race. And at the end of AVX, Hank's like, oh, you've ruined everything. But I guess you were right because now the X gene is back.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And it's like, Hank, give Cyclops his dues. And then he goes back in time and picks the 05. and literally looks at our God Queen as a teenage girl, and basically tells her that she is destined to die one day. And Teen Jean obviously has this allergic reaction to it.
Right.
Because imagine being 17 and being told one day you're going to die. And it's like, you know what? Fuck you, Beast. You're horrible. So
and he could have told her she's going to come back to life.
Yeah, you could be like, oh, but don't worry about it. Like, a cosmic parasite is going to attach itself to you, and you'll be reborn over and over again.
Yeah.
You're literally going to become the world's most powerful mutant. But like, LOL, you'll be dead for like 5 days. Don't worry about it.
He's just salty because it didn't work out between them.
That's true. Oh my God, I still have terrors from when that relationship was a thing in the comic.
You guys are great. That's
but
funny.
you know, Lady J, it's fun because years ago someone did ask me on an episode who was my least favorite X-Man, and I jokingly say Beast, I jokingly say Wasp, you know, for Marvel in general. But at the core of it, I think we all love these characters, and it may be fun to rag on them, but I don't think I could ever really, in my honest form, be like, I hate this character. I just enjoy this universe so much and being able to play in it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's why when I said I never really thought about my leads, I think that's what it is. Because even I think people who I guess we could say suck as a character also like brings something to it. Like, you know what I mean? Even saying, oh, that sucks, brought something to it. Or like, oh, he sucks. I hope that he gets, you know, his butt kicked or something that brings something to it. So like to me, I just, like you said, I love the whole fandom in general. And yeah, there's some like, you know, Toad. I don't ever think of him really, even though he was in the first movie. That's somebody who, like, if I'm thinking of X-Men, I have to think hard about Toad. Like, he's not somebody I ever think about. But whether I would say he's my least favorite, no, you know what I mean? It's just some characters I think about all the time versus other characters. It's like, oh yeah, they're in the X-Men universe.
What about your who's the sexiest character? Like the one
Gambit.
Gambit is the ultimate fuckboy. Yes.
Yeah. And even the voice actor Chris, I always thought was cute when I was little. So I was like, okay, so I'm glad that, you know, he played Gambit.
When I talk to Lenore and we talk about recording with Chris, I'm always like, I always want to be like, but he's so handsome. Like, how did you like? But I guess because I'm still confused with, and Michelle, maybe you know the answer. I'm so confused how they did the actual recordings. Like sometimes Lenore made it sound like they were all in the same room and they would go out afterwards. And then other times I'm like, well, wait a minute, for the logistics, they probably had to record separately. And I'm sure the answer is it depended on the day or the week.
Yeah.
Right.
Or maybe the episode. Like if they were
Agreed.
all recording like an episode and they needed to see each other's reactions to things, maybe then they had special meetups. This is all just me speculating. But
yeah, and it's funny that for the Deke dub of Sailor Moon, the voice actress Barbara, I'm forgetting her last name, who did Sailor Neptune and Serena's mom, she mentioned that when she went to go record for Sailor Moon S, she and the actress who did Sailor Uranus, they actually recorded together, which was very unique at the time when that was happening. So I've always been curious with that.
That makes sense, though. They had a lot of scenes together, Uranus and Neptune. So.
I'm sorry the Deke turned them into incestuous cousins. Or I'm sorry, it was the Cloverway version turned them into incestuous cousins.
I was like, yes. I was like, they made them kissing cousins. They should just left them how they were.
Can you imagine? We lived in a world where it was okay. Like they didn't even edit. Like if you were going to commit to the cousin thing, like fine, whatever. I don't agree with it, but commit to it. Go through the censorship. Now they just look incestuous cousins holding hands and kissing. Like
yeah. Oh man.
How about from either the comic books or the television shows? Do you have a particularly favorite arc?
So I don't know. That's hard. I do love the Phoenix Saga and the Dark Phoenix Saga. I mean, who can't? Days of Futures Past.
Yeah.
But like for me, just reading the comics from the 70s to early 2000s, I just loved it all. So, it kind of blurs all together for me because I enjoyed that whole time period so much. Wolverine losing his animanium, like just so many different things happened
Oh, I love
during
Fatal
those
Attraction
eras.
so much.
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was just so many. I remember reading that comic and I dropped it because I was like, oh my god, I can't believe Magneto. I was traumatized for a second.
Well, so it's so funny. I've reread the first 2 issues of Fatal Attractions, and Wolverine getting his adamantium pulled out was what I remember and traumatizing enough. But like at like the earlier issues, like the acolytes go to like a hospital where people are in hospice and they like murder the nurse and everyone in hospice. And I'm like, my jaw dropped. I was in
Right.
bed and I went like this and I just stared off. I'm like, this is really hard to read. How did I read this as a kid?
Right. And I was like, and maybe I didn't, that part didn't hit so hard because it wasn't like people I loved forever. And then Wolverine was like, and I'm like, that's bad. That should have hit harder, but it did. I was like, oh man, that sucks. But then I read Wolverine and I'm like, oh my God. Like, like I should have been like that in the beginning.
And that
But yeah.
iconic moment where Magneto actually rips it out, as rendered on the Fleer Ultra. I remember as a kid, I stared at that in like the little, the card cases that were plastic. You would put them. I would just stare at this like as a kid, and I'm just like, oh.
I know. I couldn't believe it.
Did you come? Well, no. You said you read from the 70s to the early aughts. So did you stick around for Morrison? Was Morrison like a deal breaker when we got new X-Men, or did it reignite?
Yeah, so it wasn't really a deal breaker, but I didn't get to read it in real time because like I said before, I was in college working 2 jobs, so like just reading slowed down for me and I picked it back up whenever I had time. So I don't remember it as clearly as I remember the ones that I got to just like sit and enjoy and read straight through. But it wasn't a deal breaker. Like I read, none of them are. Some stories I hate a little, not hate. I don't want to say hate is a strong word. I don't hate anybody, but some stories I dislike.
Drag them.
And
Like
some
which
aren't
one?
worse.
Drag him. Drag him. Drag him. Give us the exclusive. Drag him.
Well, one of my pet peeves is, and things can change, don't get me wrong, but like rewriting an origin of a character, like Magneto's not being the father of Scarlet Witch or Quicksilver when they clearly was drawn. Like Quicksilver looks just like Magneto. You're gonna tell me he's not his father 20 years later? No, that's his father. Those Scarlet Witch and Polaris. Those kind of things drive me a little crazy when you change the like core definition of something that I known for 20 or 30 years of my life. But I try not to to harbor on stuff too long. I'm like, ain't nothing I can do about it. But in my brain, I'm like, that's his kids. I don't care what I'm like.
That's everybody. We're all like, Wanda and Pietro are forever Magneto's kids and mutants.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I agree. Listen, Kill Bill Sirens, when Axis came out and Wanda was like, I guess I'm no longer your daughter. Everything for you, Magnus, is a lie. And then she just like floats away. I'm like, what? What? You just retcon like from the 60s, decades worth of stories. Well, I know originally that retcon was a retcon, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yes,
this is a decade. This is universal canon that all of us love, and because of film, right? For me, it's like if it was a compelling story, fine, right? Like with the retcon we got with Nightcrawler and Destiny,
right? Yes.
Compelling story. I understand why that retcon's happening, but for Wanda and Pietro, it's for film rights. That's
exactly.
It was for film rights, and guess what? Now they own the film rights to the mutants again. So can we just
say
like
psych?
Yeah, like psych. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What were you saying, Michelle?
And this is retcon the retcon.
Yes, retcon the retcon. And by the thing is, like, I feel that like we would all universally just accept it, right?
I agree.
And I want to give a shout out to Leah Williams, because when we had her on to discuss Trial of Magneto, she did say the first thing she inquired about was about retconning the retcon.
Yeah, oh, that's awesome.
Right, because Wanda, Scarlet Witch as an IP is so valuable to Marvel, as she should be, more popular than Iron Man. Are girls more popular than Iron Man?
Yeah.
They had to go through Kevin Feige and his team, and they weren't allowed to retcon the retcon, sadly.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Fighting fight for us.
Yes. Because even in the TV show The Gifted, I loved the allusion to Magneto. Like they kept dropping hints for Polaris's character. And I love that TV show. Like it was amazing.
I think stand that so much.
Yeah. It really brought back the heart of the original like X-Men storylines to me. And I thought that was really cool. But yeah, now I was like, oh, are they going to finally say his name? Like you were waiting for the lead. But yeah, so I'm like, yes, let's retcon that. I agree.
My audible gasp for The Gifted was when one of the cuckoos like breaks down like the truck, the prisoner's truck, and then the other cuckoos come out and they just go there and they stand in formation. I was like screaming at the top of my lungs.
That was amazing. Yeah. I love that they used mutants that we don't always see in the forefront. That was really fun too.
Yeah, well, Skylar James, is that Skylar Samuels, who was on Scream Queens as well, was a perfect Stepford Cuckoos. Perfect.
Yeah, that was really cool. And I loved why names are, and I know her name. The actress that played Polaris.
Oh, Emma Dumont.
Yes, Emma. Yeah. I love Emma. I got to meet her at Rhode Island, and she was great.
She's amazing. She would do your con. She's a friend of the podcast. We talked to her. Ooh, if you need an intro to Ms. Emma Dumont, just let us know. Girl will show up in costume.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say she embraced Polaris so hard. She was so amazing, and I dressed as her version in the show. And when I walked up, she was like, I was like, yes, I love you. Like she was amazing. But I love what she did for the character. It was really cool. And when she put on her first headpiece, and then she would wear it all the time, like outside of the show. I love that she wore it.
That was iconic.
We did an episode with her and Lenore that had nothing to do with X-Men. It was just all about politics and relevant issues. And Michelle, I don't think you were available for that episode because it came in last minute.
Yeah, I was not, but I listened to it and it was, oh my God, there were so many emotional like moments, and like Lenore and Emma are just two like powerful women who deeply care about the state of the world today.
Tell us more about Mutant and Proud. What do you think makes it so special against other cons out there? Not saying better, but just what do you think that your con brings to the table that's very unique?
Yeah, so I feel like because we all are embracing X-Men, we truly, it's like such a positive atmosphere. Like we feel like family. Like, everybody's really connected, and that made me. That was a surprise to me. Like that was a bonus of what happened at the show. It was what I was hoping for, but it really, really happened. And do you get to? I think it's because you feel like when the atmosphere helps you imagine more of, I'm this character, and it helps you, and it's so many people around you that's this character, and also you connect because we're all loving the same thing. Like we're here because we all love this fandom, and the venue itself I think helps make it unique. The photo opportunities that you can get, in the group photo opportunities, like you can bring a lot of your dreams to life. Like it was funny, it was like 5 rogues there because Rogue was the main thing, and it was one Captain Marvel. So all the rogues, we're like, Miss Marvel, it's okay, we all surround you. So we all pretended to like take her power, and she's like, no, like there's things you wouldn't be able to do sometimes at other venues you're allowed to do here. And like I said, the interactive, like the X-Men Family Feud, that just made it. Yeah, that in itself, everybody was like, some people were scared to do it at first, because everybody's not an extrovert. Some people are introverts, but then even the introverts were cracking up and laughing. It's such a together experience. So and nobody pushes though. Like if it was some people sitting way in the back, when they decided to move up closer, they moved up closer. Like, and I think that's just the thing. Like everybody felt comfortable and everybody felt embraced at the same time. Like, you can be yourself, but you can also experience this experience together. And the gala had dancing, and I tried to get requests for music. I tried to incorporate everything for everybody. And we have props. Like I had a picture of the original Hellfire glove from the action figure set blown up. So people took pictures next to that. It's just, I try to bring different, something that you can't get unless it's an X-Men show. So trying to bring props out. Like if I could get it finished, my friend is making like a broken up Sentinel head so we can have it outside. So that's why I want to do Magneto, because we're going to do photo ops with different characters in different places. Like Storm will be outside and Magneto will be next to the Sentinel head because he crushed it all up, and different types of things like that. So hopefully that's what people feel like is different, or I should say exceptional with a big X about the event.
and also, as of this recording, and we do not have insider information, but as of this recording, it is long speculated and rumored that X-Men 97 is coming out in the spring, and you are going to have two of the stars there. You're going to have Rogue and presumably Nightcrawler, whoever Adrian ends up playing on the series. But that's going to be incredible that fans and new fans are going to be able to come in and speak with them about the new show, hopefully.
And the toys hit, so all the collectors like us, if they got some of the Rogue action figures, they could get it signed by Lenore at the show, hopefully in time for the series to come out. But I'm excited for the new series. I want the younger folks to get the experience we had with the original X-Men animated series.
Okay, but the Hellfire Gala, tell us a little bit more about that before we let you go.
No problem. So you guys, when you purchase the ticket, you get a badge. It'll either say both events, one event, whatever you choose. But if you choose the gala, you also get an old school fashioned Hellfire Gala, Hellfire Club Inner Circle invitation, and it has whatever you name you pick. You can pick your real name, you can pick your mutant name, and then it's on old fashioned paper, and it gets an old fashioned wax stamp, and you get it all together with your badge.
Okay, that is iconic.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, it's such a nice memento from this event. I love the detail.
Thank you so much. I was originally going to make you guys have to bring it, like to come in, but I was like, oh, I don't want people to accidentally lose it, so that's why I give you a badge and an invitation. But that was the original idea, was you have to come with your invitation.
I will be such a bitch. I will go up there. I'm like, I don't have a QR code. Like, where is it? I'll be showing you I forgot where I think it was FlameCon. You had to bring proof of an email or something to pick up your press badge. And I was like, they didn't have a sheet. And I was just like, oh, I don't know where this email is. And
right.
But that is you know what? We will bring those for you. I will make sure I have that.
Thank you.
If I could do it with my vaccine card, I can do it with something that's important. I can find a way to keep that in mind.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Lady J, if people want to attend your event, where can they buy tickets?
So it's my website, www.ladyj-cosplay.com. I hope I put the dash in the right spot, but it might be easier if you have Facebook or Instagram. I have the ticket links there also. I don't know why I don't know my own website. Like, this is for crazy. My brain part is really for crazy.
The other day I called this podcast Powers of X. So trust me, we're on the same page. Brain fog is real, kids.
Yes, but Mutant Proud has his own Instagram page. It's at Lady J Mutant and Proud, all together, spelled out. And all the ticket links are there, but my website also has a ticket link. You click Mutant and Proud, the tickets are there. And Mutant and Proud is about to have a new website that's being launched later this month, so that'll make it really easy for everybody. And for Facebook, it's through my cosplay page. It has an event, and the ticket links are there also.
And what's the Facebook page? Is it Lady J?
Yeah, Lady J Cosplay Philly.
And of course, Lady J, Lenore, and Adrian are going to be there. What can fans expect from seeing them at the con?
Yeah, so you could get table photos, photo ops, autographs, and I'm pretty sure Lenore did voice recordings last year, and I think Adrian would too. So it's, and they did good specials. Like if you mixed it up, got an autograph and a photo, table selfie, or autograph and a voice recording, they did specials for that also.
That's so wonderful. So it's April 27th. Familia, hit up those websites. Michelle, what do you have coming up in the next couple of months. I feel like you're at every city, every con. Like there cannot be a con unless Michelle manifests there.
I love that.
Well, my goal was to attend more cons because I want to get out there. I want to see everything. I've got Pasadena Con at the end of this month, and then
Kathy's going to be there. Kathy Garver, Firestar. She was telling me. I told her about you.
I got my Firestar.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm gonna have her sign it. I'm gonna hit her up, and I'm gonna say, "Paul from PowerX sent me."
She should know you because we talk about you in the episode.
Oh, I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm going to before the con. And then Amazing Hawaii was supposed to happen in February. It is being postponed to November. However, there is another local con going on the exact same weekend. So we are now going, I think it's like Hawaii Toy and Collectible Expo. And we're working with some other vendors. I'm working with Darren from Unknown to possibly have like David Nakayama at that event.
Oh,
So yeah, Justin and I are kind of doing some things in the background to kind of still make something happen.
I love that. And Darren's such a good guy. We met him at LA Comic Con. He's Lenore's like booking agent, and he's such a great. He's organized. Lenore's like, oh, can you help at the table? I was like, okay, and I literally just stood there for like an hour. I'm like, you don't need me. You have Darren. I'm like, my work here is done. The tuxedo mask game. And then Lenore's like, Sugar, you didn't do anything. But speaking of Lenore, we are going to be at MegaCon in like 2 weeks. So we'll see Lenore there. We'll see Catherine Disher, the voice of Jean, is going to be there.
Oh, Jelly Roll.
yeah.
I'm going to send you some money, Paul. Can you get some stuff signed?
Of course. Yes, absolutely. I was thinking of going. I was thinking of not going. I was like, oh, my travel schedule is going to be insane. But we were able to make it work out. I spoke with the publicity team there. Familia, I love MegaCon. It's in Florida. It's in Orlando, Florida. If you have an opportunity, go. It's just as big as New York Comic Con. I wouldn't say as big as San Diego, but the crowd. It is the San Diego, New York Comic Con of Florida. It's so big, and they're doing a reunion for the X-Men animated series. So we'll be there, and we'll be covering it. We went last year. It was so much fun. And then I know there's more that I should plug, but I always forget. We're doing WonderCon. We're for sure doing WonderCon.
Yes, WonderCon. I kind of forgot about it, but Farm X is doing a WonderCon takeover, right?
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We pitched 2 panels, so hopefully those will get approved, and we're just gonna. I think the entire Power of X-Men team is gonna be there. Oh wait, I don't think Flink or Hammy can make it.
We might have the other team.
The rest of the team will be there. And people only really tune in for Michelle, so it's fine. It's Michelle.
That's not true.
Well, we'll have fun, and I cannot wait for April for Mutant and Proud. Lady J, what an honor to finally speak with you.
No, I feel honored, you guys. You guys blow me away. When I first saw the podcast, I was like, they are X-Men human dictionaries, and I love them. Encyclopedias, I have to say. And
I try to make it a rule that we don't like consult Wikipedia or anything. It's okay if we don't know everything. That's what I really love. What you guys also have said about cosplaying. It's okay if you're not the most knowledgeable X fan out there, as long as you love the characters and we're celebrating them. I think that's what the energy we like to bring here, and fortuitously we're all just big X-Men fans from all walks of life. So
right, but that's what I meant by by how much knowledge you have. I could tell how much you love it, like how much you retain from it. That's what I meant.
Some of us are up at 4 a.m, obsessing about Storm's Joe Mad haircut and why it hasn't made a resurgence in the comics. All right.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you all.